When you speak with patients, and I know you speak with Lyme people that reach out to you now, I'm sure, and ask you what you did and everything, like, what's your message to them? Because you're on the other side now, you went through the treatment, you knew it wasn't easy, took years for you to get to where you are. What is your message to people that may just be finding out, hey, I have Lyme disease?
So, I've coined my own term, and people ask, how did you do it, or what, my baseline was always rock solid. I never wanted to give up. I never wanted to what I say to people is, I never wanted to let what was holding me back define me. So I knew at the end of the day that I was not going to give up, and that my baseline, my life force, even when I did the biofeedback at the center, I just said, I'm okay. I'm going to get through this. I'm not going to give up. I am, I've been given an amazing life by my parents and my family. I'm good at my job. I have great friends, and I want to reach my potential as a person. So I just knew that I was gonna figure it out, and I just wasn't gonna give up. So that was always at the very bottom, and what motivated me to keep going and to work through my issues. So I start there, and then I talk to everyone and just say that it's a battle, that it takes time. You have your ups and downs, and I also say, everyone's working and thinking that the lights are going to be turned back on and it's going to be like that, and it's not. It's gradual, and you slowly get there. And you get a little bit better, and a lot of times it's the people in your life around you that notice it more than you do, because then you just kind of start doing more things. You're off the couch, and I was talking to someone I met in the center who I became friends with, and he was up from Texas for 6 weeks or something, and then towards the end of his stay, he went to the city and saw a Broadway show. And he was like, whatever, and he said he was talking to his wife and was like, you went to a Broadway show? Like, you're obviously doing better. And he was like, what are you talking about? It's the people around you that notice it more than you do, because you're just kind of always in your own head. So I say that, and I just, and just say it's a battle, and you take the good with the bad, and you be your own detective, figure it out, and just be in tune with your body, listen to it, and just keep at it until you get there.
Healing is a game of patience, and it's a game of inches, right? And you don't notice the inches. If you look at that day by day, you're like 1 inch, maybe an inch back, maybe this. You look at it month by month, that is feet. You look at by years, it's miles, right? And that's the difference that you're talking about. It's one of the reasons I usually recommend people just, journal and just give yourself a score, whatever you want to be. You could do multiple, like what my sleep was like a 5 today. My energies is a 6, overall I'm a 7. Because when you do that, most people that look back on it, it's like, oh shit, I was like a 3 2 months ago. And now I'm at a 5, which isn't great, I guess, if you're looking at 10s everywhere. You think everyone's a 10. By the way, no one's a 10. But you put yourself in that realm of, like most people, I still don't have this and this, right? I don't have full energy yet. I still don't sleep perfectly yet. Yeah, but you weren't even sleeping 6 months ago, right? You couldn't even get out of bed. You were barely moving. You had pain all over your body. So you got to celebrate small wins in healing. And I love that attitude of just like, never give up. You're going to fall back sometimes, but celebrate the small wins, and see something like going into the city and seeing a play is like, wow, that is an accomplishment, because
it sure
you couldn't do it
and
not long ago.
Yep. And, I found a couple of videos on YouTube that I would watch to help me motivate. There was a good term on that. And I always, thought about it as mental toughness. So, one of the videos, it says you train your mind and your body will follow. So I always knew that I just got to stay mentally tough, and, that will help me push through. And then I would just, keep trying new things and try to stay active and try to keep my stress levels down. And, and then luckily it all came together when I, got to the center, and when we did everything and worked through it. And obviously all my issues were nervous system related for the most part. So we did a lot of NAD at the end, and that was super helpful. And then, when I was done, like everyone else, like, okay, so how long is it going to take for me to feel my best again? And then, everyone's different, of course, and it's stress levels and your life and the things that you do will affect that. But, it took me a little bit longer, but than some other people. But that's okay. And I continue to come in. I come in once a year at least. I try to make it twice, but I want to make sure that I'm detoxing, that I'm checking my viral loads, that I'm working through any heavy metals. I'm certainly exposed to a lot of things on the job site where, I had to do 6 rounds of chelation, over the past couple of weeks. I'm obsessed with ozone as a treatment, and you guys have a new machine there, which is pretty exciting.
Have you tried out the EBOO?
I am about to. I've been trying. I
fun.
came in to use it, but I had, all the chelation to do, and the detoxing to do, because I was doing a ton of ozone prior to coming in, and that's what, kept me going. I found someone locally in Watermill here in the Hamptons, and I would see her once a week, and I would go and do a couple passes, and that, helped keep me going. And, I did a lot of biomagnetism through someone I met locally. He's a doctor that works in the city at the Morrison Center, but he treats people in New Jersey, where he's from. So he's the first person to introduce me to ozone and talked a lot about heavy metals. So, I hit it up. We become good friends, and so I had all these sort of tools and ideas and things that we're doing, and until I got to you guys, and then everything was just happening in one spot. So, that was just such a relief.